Hello and welcome to another edition of Eyewitness Report. We have new updates on the devastating flood situation in Bayelsa and River States, South Nigeria, as relevant authorities continue to look for solution in order to secure lives and properties. That will be the focus, but we have much more for you on this edition of the program. I am Jomi Otaibi. Even though we are approaching the end of the rainy season, it appears the rains are not abating. This development has led to huge flooding in some riverine communities in River State.
Houses submerged, with only rooftops visible, are physical evidence of the extent at which flood has sacked communities in 4 local government areas in the western senatorial district of River State. The devastation is huge and unimaginable, the worst in over a decade.
Just stand up.
The impact of the flood in Ogbaegbe and Gani, an oil-producing area, is severe. In Gani Kingdom, an agrarian community in another west local government area of River State coexist with the Arashi River for as long as local dwellers can remember. The river, which used to be deeper, is now shallow, occasioning overflow into homes and farmlands.
The Arashi River, our river, the Arashi River, the level of the Arashi River is not deep again. When I was small, the Arashi River was about, the height, the depth of Arashi River was about 20 to 25 meters deep. But right now, 6 feet some areas 4 feet. People can trek, move across the Arashi River. So the river now is too shallow to contain the volume of water. Once the river full, the water now overflows to the community and our farms. Then our canals, we have the Edua Creek from Jonkarama number 1, connects, that Edua Creek connects down to Bayelsa, where it terminates at River Niger. That canal too is not deep again. So to dredge those canals and the river, if the river is deep, the water level cannot enter the communities and our farms to destroy the farms. Right from 2012 till now, my people, anytime the flood, any of the flood periods from August down to November, the flood will submerge every community. We are homeless. We are homeless. Our food items, banana, plantain, cassava, yams, everything is gone. You go today, you want to go and harvest, it's maybe 3 feet or 2 feet. By the time you go tomorrow, it's above maybe 2-3 meters to 4 meters high. And there is no way we can harvest the crops again.
The flood rushes further as the rain persists. Residents resort to the use of canoes to move around and keep their endeavors going.
As it is, our crops has been ravaged by this water you're seeing. And the most unfortunate thing is that we have not received any government intervention up to date. This road you're seeing is an access road to the facility of Nigerian Ajib Oil Company, and of course SPDC. But as it is, nothing has been done. Rather, they are conveying their workers to their fields, neglecting the people. And so I'm appealing to the government of Rivers State and of course the federal government, the multinationals, to please intervene so that, as it is, we have about four clans in this kingdom. There is need for them to build a permanent IDP camp in Engede Kingdom so that when there is this perennial flooding, the people can have a place to go.
I want the government to look into how to solve this perennial flooding we experience. We know it's a natural disaster, but there can be some measures that will be done to cushion the effects of the flooding, the dredging of the Engene River, which is, some call it Arashi River. And I think as Engene people too, we have to look at our farming pattern and season. I think it's something the Engene Kingdom will have to look at, so that we look at how and season we farm, so that the flooding won't be affecting our crops. Because yes, it's natural that because of the terrain, the topography where we are, we'll always, once in a while, experience this flood.
A rainy journey from Ahoda West takes us to other affected communities in Onne local government area.
We're drawing the attention of every authority to know that this place is inundated, seriously flooded. There are issues everywhere, but there are areas where it is most impacted. And I hope the government of the state and the federal will rise to the occasion in this aspect.
A gas injection plant in Opricom is among properties submerged here. The famous East-West Road, connecting rivers to other states like Bayelsa, Delta, and Edo, is now deeply cut off, leaving motorists and travelers stranded.
You can imagine the facility, the Ajib facility, Naok, and all that has been submerged. And this is the hub of oil and gas in the Nigerian system. So we're finding it very difficult to survive. You can see the inhabitants of the area that are coming from the hinterland, and their crops and all that has been destroyed by the flood. The communities that are most impacted are the Ndoni people, the Agwe, Asazaga, Obricom, Ebema, Ibocha, and all that, Omok, there's so many areas, Kriegen, and all that. Everybody is affected by this flooding. No, this is not the first time. It has been a reoccurrence, and it's a natural disaster, like I said before. So this is not the first time. So it has been happening, and we are helpless. The people of Obebe Mandoni were helpless to this menace of flooding.
Some of the communities have now become hard to reach, and not even the provision of canoes can help. Residents are taking refuge in camps provided by local authorities.
Madam, how long have you been here? Just today. Thank you.
Hallelujah, Jesus Jesus must be honored. Oh, must be honored, must be honored. Jesus must be honored in our life every day. I will be moving around Awuda East, Awuda West, running till now. Because any moment from now, the SLC does not want to hear anything except evacuating people that are trapped immediately, giving them where to stay, shelter, and then feed them until the flood, America, until the flood is subside. So we believe God that God is going to see us through. And so thank you very much. We are so sorry for keeping waiting. It's not been easy for us this morning here and there. We can never keep a king waiting. If the West and the North respect their king, we respect you, sir.
We've gone to other places. We've gone to a part of Ahoda East. On our way to Ahoda West, but we couldn't reach there. We are here now. We have seen what the people are complaining of. It's real. But the good news is that His Excellency has already made provision for the people to receive some level of support. So we have come to see, we'll go back now, put this together, so it will not just be a story, but we'll come back with some action, so the people will receive some kind of relief. That's why we are happy with what the chairman have done. Even the traditional ruler of this place, what he has done is quite commendable, and we charge other communities to do so, and other councils.
Meanwhile, as more facilities get submerged, there are fears that thousands of people may be at risk of the effect of chemical pollution in Ogba Egbe Mandani, a major oil and gas producing area in Rivers State. The traditional ruler of the area expresses this concern when the Rivers State Flood Management Committee visited at his palace to explain the state government's plan towards easing the suffering.
If I said the federal government should come here, I'm not sure I'll be speaking too much. NEMA ought to be here. The Ministry of Humanitarian Services or whatever it is they do should be here. Every other that is necessary should be in this state to have the first-hand feel of what it is like here. Total is here. Nigeria Oil Company is here. Shell is here. And so many other subs. The fact also that oil and gas, for a nation, this is the highest producing nationwide local government. There's no mincing words about it. Whether people love to hear it or not, it's something we know and it's something we're proud about. But you also saw how the facilities have all been inundated and are underwater.
Actually, we heard and saw of the devastation of the whole of Arashi River. And His Excellency went out properly to inaugurate a committee to hit the ground running, to ensure that support is brought to the people of this local government and to assist the local government areas that have all been ravaged by this flood.
The River State Flood Management Committee is expected to visit more communities to have a clear understanding of how to manage the 1 billion naira that was approved by the Governor Nyesom Wike-led administration for the provision of relief items for the victims.
Welcome back. Eyewitnesses in Bayelsa State have been narrating the ordeal as flood continues to displace thousands of people, destroying properties in the state capital, Yenagoa, and neighboring communities. Most unfortunate is the death of a teenager.
The popular White House Road in Igbogene community inundated as water level rises in Yenagoa. Houses and other properties submerged as flood takes over most parts of the Bayelsa State's capital. Now running in 2 weeks, the rising water appears unabated.
And they see the river, oh, dry ground don't turn to River Niger. We dey inside, nowhere to go. Our children with us, they inside, they suffer. Small children, no. Then they inside this river, this dirty, big snake, python, they pursue us. We they run up and down. And they see us, oh, Mako na help us. Mako come out inside this suffer. This suffer too much for us. Too much. Anywhere you rent out for Yenegua, now like this. Where we want go? Nowhere.
So man, I bring palliative for us. We don't suffer no food. Market said they don't put price of things. We no fit buy things again, self. We dey inside water, we dey suffer. Man, I come rescue also. Every year we dey suffer, then we come look, go back, they no dey do anything.
Its effect on the environment is quite unpleasant. Critical infrastructures are not spared.
For the past 1 week, it's increasing by the day. It's coming up by the day. But look at what is happening here. Look at the currents. Nobody can stay around here. Look at what is happening. You can see everywhere. Because of the flood issue, we saw the high tension pole just fell down. And if this high tension pole gets into this water, thousands of people will die. It's high tension. It's not just the normal electrical pole.
The same applies to Tombia, Akemfa, and Zarama communities, also in the Yenagua metropolis.
The water went in my house. He go reach my neck. He go reach my neck. See me with my wife, the back they go.
It's only 2 days ago that we have a little casualty where one boy, about 17 years old boy, died during the flood. They managed to swim the place, but the pressure of that place is so high. That is what led to the death.
Seeing the youth of Bayelsa, this flood, no one should go to the flood to go and swim. We just lost one of our friends now. We are taking him to go and bury. I'm advising all the parents, should want their son and their daughter should not go to go and swim.
I'm one of the patients who just went there this morning. But there's no way. Colibri Hospital, all over the hospital is covered by water. So the patients are now, some are sent to whether an FMC, Yanagua. So myself, I don't even, so I'm coming back to my house.
They should come and find solution to Bayelsa State. That is what we want to say. Please get the federal government.
Flooded farmlands leads to early harvest of crops to avoid damage.
To survive is just the main problem now because there is no food in the bush, neither food in the house. These women you see here, they are cassava dealers. Tomorrow, on Friday, they will have gone to Sarama market to sell. But because of the situation, they cannot go. And so hunger is just expected everywhere.
landlord house. It's our landlord's house.
The onus of the task force is to urgently identify, inspect, identify, and quickly provide solutions. In addition to that, relief materials that are needed by victims are to be coordinated by this task force to alleviate the pains of such victims.
We've done some few things in the past, that is the prosperity administration. Some communities were provided with flood protecting barriers, and even in Yenagoa, like a place like Okutukutu, something was done last year. These schemes are considered to be pilot schemes, and so our environmentalists, our engineers will go around these places to also take a very proper look and see how effective what was done in the year 2020 is effective.
The worrisome situation attracts the Bayelsa State Governor, Doye Diri, who embarks on a tour of affected communities.
Okay.
Governor Diri and some members of his cabinet visit Igbedi and Amasoma communities in Sagbama local government area, where parts of the road leading to the community are damaged.
We are looking for permanent solutions. Federal government should be proactive, inviting state governments, subnational governments to dialogue on permanent solutions to this perennial flooding. There is the issue of post-flood, and post-flood mitigation is very important to us at this time. The post-flood will be about our destroyed infrastructure, particularly road infrastructure. The road leading from Sagbama to Ikeremo has been badly damaged by the flood. You have seen the road leading from Yenagoa to Amasoma, which is housing the Niger Delta University, has collapsed in 3 areas. And so even with the calling off of the ASU strike, the university in Amasoma cannot resume. And that's what I keep talking about, the peculiarity of Bayelsa State and our Niger Delta environment. And so it's going to cost the state government billions and billions of naira to ensure that our roads are repaired. Not only that, the individual losses in terms of houses that have collapsed as a result of the flood. In terms of the debts that we have witnessed, there are a lot that even no one can even pay for. But all the same, the post-flood management, the federal government has to sit with the state governments to look for a lasting and permanent solution. And as I've outlined, one of them is the construction of a dam, so that when water is released from wherever, from whichever country, we should be able to contain it in Nigeria. And that is beyond the capacity of any one state government.
Other affected places visited by the governor includes the Bayelsa State School of Nursing and Midwifery, Glory Drive linking Igbogene and Alamasia Road, Opolo, Oxbow Lake, and the Bayelsa State House of Assembly quarters.
Eyewitness Report gives you the opportunity to be a change agent in your community with your pictures and videos. Simply take images of activities around you and upload to the Channels TV Eyewitness platform. which is available on the Channels TV app from the various app stores online. Launch the app. Check for Eyewitness on the menu. Tap and follow the instructions on how to upload your story. That's where we draw the curtains on this edition of the program. See you again next time. I am Yomi Otaibi.